Now, obviously you've spent a lot of time in your life in front of the camera. What are your tips for ensuring that your makeup stays in place all day or when you go out at night?
To keep your makeup in place, it's good to use a primer. And I tend to not kind of layer it on too thick to start with so that you can reapply naturally and it doesn't get too powdery and that kind of matte look. But I guess I've also been spoilt and I've worked on many sets and I've been to many events, so it's usually the makeup artist who has the toughest job trying to keep it on my face. But I tend not to go for the foundations that say that they're going to last all day, because I think that it's better to, if you've got the time to reapply. It keeps you looking more fresh.
If you could only use 3 makeup products, what would your staples be?
Oh, definitely mascara, because I do like lots of lashes. I like a blush. There's some really nice cream blushes, so you always look a bit kind of pink in the cheeks and fresh and awake and young, hopefully. And can I say a hair elastic? Because even on those bad hair days, you can get your hair out of the way. So yeah, I'd go with those 3.
Speaking of your hair, a lot of our members have submitted questions and they've asked what you do to keep your hair looking so gorgeous. They're all very jealous of it.
Oh.
What can you tell them in terms of your daily hair routine?
Well, I've got my mum and dad to thank for my hair. I've been blessed. I've come from a good gene pool as far as a head of hair goes. But I use TG products as far as your shampoo and conditioners go. But I think like a hair mask is always really important. So you're doing a treatment, you know, at least once a week, especially if your hair's a bit lighter. So I use a Kerastase hair mask. And I've started to use a product, an argan oil, so once I've washed my hair and before it's going to be blow dried, I tend just to put a little bit in the ends. Not too much though.
What's your biggest ever beauty blunder?
Biggest ever beauty blunder would have to be letting anyone near your eyebrows with tweezers that you don't know and trust. I've done it a few times and it always ends in tears, so yeah, don't let that happen.
Who would you say is your biggest beauty icon?
That would have to be Kate Winslet, I think. Not only is she a beautiful actress, but she's just so incredibly beautiful naturally, and that's what I really like. You tend to see so many faces in the magazines that all start looking the same at some point, but I think Kate Winslet, she's classy and she's all of those great things. She's gracious and that makes her look beautiful as well, but I think her look and her makeup look is always fresh and natural and just beautiful.
One of our members also wants to know, obviously having a lot of makeup applied to your skin on set and growing up in front of the cameras, did you ever experience problematic skin, or were you quite good about taking off your makeup and thoroughly cleansing at the end of each day?
I had very good advice from older actresses for many years. I mean, I started on Home and Away when I was 8 years old, so back then I didn't need much makeup. As much as I wanted to wear makeup and feel like a grown-up girl, it didn't come until my teenage years when they started putting makeup on, and the older actresses would always advise me, you need to start doing this now, you know, and I guess they knew. But my skin has always been quite consistent over the years. I've never had problematic skin as such, and maybe that does come from looking after it well, but yeah, it wasn't too bad through those teenage years. But television in those days wasn't kind of, it wasn't as clear as it is. We didn't have, you know, digital TV, and so that probably looked after me a bit too.
What would we find on your bedside table?
Yeah, well, I don't have a bedside table. We only have room for one bedside table in our house, and that is on my husband's side because it wasn't my side, and I changed it because I don't like turning the light out before I go to sleep. So I did that sneakily, and on the bedside table are a pile of books that are yet to be read. A photo of Stuart and I, of course. Our phone's usually charging, and a candle. There's not, yeah, that's about it.
And on your beauty shelf in your bathroom, what would we find there?
Oh, about 10 perfumes that need to be thrown out. And what else? I do have a candle on there. I tend to try and pack everything away in the drawers because I have so many bits and pieces that if I left it out on display, it just kind of gathers dust. Makes everything look very messy. But yeah, it's all packed away neatly. Not neat in the drawers, but just neat out of the way.
If you weren't an actress, what do you think you'd be? Or what would you want to be?
If I'd stayed at school, I went to an agricultural school, so I did want to do veterinary science, so maybe I'd be a vet. I wanted to do architecture, but I think you've got to study for too long for that, so I doubt that would have worked out either. But these days, if I gave up acting, I'd probably just want to move away and learn to make jam and kind of have babies and all of that. So, yeah. Hopefully I've got a few more acting years up my sleeve.
We hope so too.
I hope so.
Thanks so much for coming in and chatting with us today, Kate. It's been lovely to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And please come back soon.